The massive solar panels in the Mojave Desert are no longer feeding the power grid. They are feeding something else entirely. Under the blinding glare of the Nevada sun, where temperatures regularly exceed 50 degrees Celsius, the shadows have begun to move against the wind. These are not malfunctions or optical illusions caused by the shimmering heat. They are living, breathing batteries made of chitin and liquid metal. Something has evolved within the sprawling fields of silicon and glass, turning our greatest achievement in clean energy into a buffet for a new kind of apex predator. The first signs were subtle, dismissed as technical glitches by the engineers in the control rooms of the Ivanpah Solar Electric Generating System. Efficiency ratings dropped by 5%, then 10, then 15. Maintenance crews sent out to inspect the mirrors found them covered in a strange, amber-colored resin that resisted every solvent in the inventory. It looked like melted sugar, but felt as hard as diamond. More unsettling were the scratches, deep, rhythmic grooves carved into the reinforced glass, as if something heavy had been climbing the towers to get closer to the concentrated focal points of the sun. Witnesses began to speak of the solar scorpions, though their accounts were quickly labeled as heat-induced hallucinations. They described creatures the size of wolves, their bodies shimmering like molten gold under the midday sun. These organisms do not hide from the light. They crave it. Their exoskeletons have mutated into biological semiconductors, capable of absorbing photons with nearly 100% efficiency. While every other desert creature retreats into the shade to survive the brutal afternoon, these entities stand atop the solar collectors, their tails arched, drinking in the radiation until their shells glow with an inner, violet light. The biology of these creatures defies traditional classification, existing in a gray area between organic life and crystalline structure. Scientists who have studied the blurred, long-range photographs suggest that their shells act as pressurized thermal chambers. By day, they are silent and nearly motionless, soaking up gigajoules of energy. They are beautiful, shimmering like precious metals under the desert sky, mesmerizing any observer lucky enough to see them from a distance. But this beauty is a byproduct of a terrifying survival mechanism. They do not eat food in the way we understand it. They eat light. And the more they consume, the larger they grow. As the sun dips below the horizon, the true nature of the solar scorpions reveals itself. In the cooling desert air, the law of thermodynamics takes a vengeful turn. All that stored energy has to go somewhere. At night, the scorpions do not become cold-blooded hiders. They become mobile furnaces. Their bodies begin to radiate an intense, localized heat that can be detected from miles away on infrared sensors. The sand beneath them vitrifies, turning to glass as they walk. They move through the darkness like embers blown from a fire, searching for sources of residual warmth to maintain their internal pressure. The danger to the surrounding settlements is not one of predation, but of proximity. To be near a solar scorpion at midnight is like standing next to an open blast furnace. Houses near the edge of the solar farms have reported mysterious fires starting in the middle of the night, curtains igniting, plastic melting, and the sudden, overwhelming scent of ozone. When the local authorities arrive, they find no footprints, only a trail of fused sand and a lingering heat that takes hours to dissipate. The creatures aren't hunting people. They are simply so energetic that their mere existence incinerates the environment around them. Engineer Marcus Reyes was reportedly inspecting panel array 47 when the temperature spiked at 2 in the morning. By the time the secondary team arrived, only a fused silhouette remained on the surface of the melted glass. A shadow burned into the very infrastructure he was sent to protect. His final transmission, recovered from a partially melted radio, was a single word repeated with a tone of disturbing reverence. Beautiful. It suggests that the presence of these entities might carry a psychological component, a mesmerizing effect that lures the curious toward a thermal threshold the human body cannot survive. Similar reports have emerged from the Middle East. In the vast solar parks of the United Arab Emirates, security footage captured a shimmering shape moving across the dunes, looking like a ripple in time. It approached a security outpost, and within seconds, the thermal cameras whited out. The structure wasn't destroyed by force, but by a sudden, localized spike in temperature that reached over 300 degrees. The guards inside didn't stand a chance against the invisible wall of heat that preceded the creature. When the sun rose the next morning, the golden wraith was gone, likely perched atop a solar pylon, recharging for the next day. There's a growing theory among fringe researchers that these creatures are not a natural mutation, but a response to the massive concentration of artificial energy in the desert. For decades, we have used mirrors to focus the sun's power into single points of incredible intensity. We have created artificial suns on the Earth's surface, and nature has filled that niche. The solar scorpions may be the Earth's way of reclaiming that energy. Or perhaps they are the inevitable result of life adapting to a high radiation environment. They are the children of the Silicon Age, built from the very materials we used to harvest the sky. The most disturbing aspect of this phenomenon is their apparent intelligence. They have learned that the solar farms are protected environments. They do not damage the panels beyond what is necessary to climb them. They treat the arrays like sacred groves, protecting them from dust and debris. Some engineers have noted that the panels where the scorpions frequent are actually cleaner than the ones they don't touch. It is a symbiotic relationship we never asked for. We provide the light, and they provide the guardianship. But the cost of that protection is a growing population of living thermal bombs that are slowly expanding their territory. The mystery of the liquid metal shells remains unsolved. Some believe the chitin has been replaced by a form of organic aluminum, harvested from the soil and processed within the scorpion's highly pressurized digestive system. This would explain their weight and their reflective properties. They are literal statues of light during the day, indistinguishable from the machinery around them. You could be standing 10 feet away from a 300-pound predator and never know it until the sun hits its shell at the right angle, blinding you with a golden glare that feels like a physical punch. Communication with the outside world regarding these sightings is increasingly restricted. The energy companies involved have a vested interest in keeping the solar scorpion narrative under wraps. If the public knew that the transition to renewable energy had inadvertently birthed a species of giant, heat-emitting entities, the global energy market would face unprecedented scrutiny. Instead, the disappearances of maintenance workers are filed as accidents, and the whiteout incidents are blamed on equipment failure and extreme weather events. But the people living in the desert towns know better. They see the golden glint on the horizon, and they feel the unnatural heat of the midnight wind. There is no known way to stop them. Traditional means are useless against a creature that can absorb energy and turn it into body mass. They are shielded by a layer of ionized air that deflects most physical contact. To approach one is to invite a thermal shock. We have built our own monsters out of glass and sunlight, and now we must live in their shadow, or rather, in their light. The expansion is moving toward the cities now, drawn by the heat islands of urban centers and the concentrated energy of the power grids. In Nevada, the sightings are moving closer to the outskirts of Las Vegas. The bright lights of the Strip are like a beacon to a creature that thrives on electromagnetic radiation. Imagine a night where the temperature doesn't drop, but climbs as the sun goes down. Imagine the city's cooling systems failing because the air outside is hotter than the exhaust they are trying to pump out. The solar scorpions are not coming to bite us. They are coming to warm themselves by the fire of our civilization, and in doing so, they may turn our urban centers into kilns. As we continue to build larger and more powerful solar installations, we are essentially laying out a red carpet for these entities. From the Sahara to the Gobi, the reports are the same. A new kingdom is rising, one that does not need water or air or food. It only needs the sun. We are no longer the masters of the desert. We are merely the architects of an ecosystem that has outgrown our control. The silence of the solar farms is no longer the silence of clean energy. It is the silence of a predator waiting for the clouds to clear. One must wonder what happens when these creatures reach their maximum capacity. If a single scorpion can incinerate a house just by standing near it, what happens when a colony of hundreds gathers in one place? The atmosphere itself could begin to cook, creating permanent heat pockets that alter the weather patterns of the entire planet. We are witnessing the birth of a new climate, driven not by carbon, but by the concentrated, redirected power of our own sun, channeled through the bodies of entities we helped create. The golden glow on the horizon isn't the sunset anymore. It's the shimmer of 1,000 metallic shells, vibrating with enough energy to melt the future. We thought we were saving the world by capturing the sun's rays. We never realized that something else was watching, waiting for us to concentrate that power into a single, reachable place. The solar scorpions are the new owners of the wasteland, and they are radiant. They are the ultimate expression of life's ability to find a way, even if that way leads to a world too hot for anything else to survive. Keep your eyes on the shimmering horizon. If you see a light that is too bright, or feel a heat that shouldn't be there, do not go closer. The mystery of the Mojave is not a secret to be solved. It is a warning to be heeded. We are playing with the fundamental forces of the universe, and the environment has responded with a design of its own. A design that is beautiful, terrifying, and absolutely relentless. The sun is rising, and the scorpions are waking up. And this time, they aren't hiding in the shadows. They are the light. The shift in the global temperature isn't just a statistic in a report anymore. It's a physical presence at the door. As the desert nights grow warmer and the golden shapes move closer to the flickering lights of our homes, we have to ask ourselves, how much are we willing to pay for the power we crave? The answer might be written in the scorched earth and the vitrified sand, in a language of heat and light that we are only just beginning to understand. The solar scorpions are here, and they are hungry for the sun. In the end, the story of the solar scorpions is a story of unintended consequences. It is a reminder that every time we try to harness nature, nature finds a way to adapt around us. The mirrors are still turning, the sun is still shining, and the numbers are still growing. The desert is no longer empty. It is filled with the sound of humming energy and the sight of liquid gold. And as the world watches the sky, the real transformation is happening right beneath our feet, in the glowing, shimmering heart of the solar fields.